Hi Poopsies, it's me, Tony Bomboni ASMR. Welcome back. Before this begins, as always, if you would subscribe and tap the notification bell and hit all notifications to be notified of new videos from me every single day, I would really appreciate it. It just takes a quick second. And check my website, tonybomboni.com, to book your own services for me, including coffee cup, candle wax readings, tarot readings, ASMR, and Reiki sessions. I do not offer tea leaves reading like in this video, but I do offer the coffee cup, as I've stated, which is very similar. The only difference is I read the coffee, not the tea. Alright, so let's begin. This is going to be cup number 1. This marshmallow watermelon fluff white cup. Cup 2, this red Easter egg. And cup 3, this flower that is closed off. This blue cup. Cup 1, cup 2, cup 3. You can choose 1, 2, or all of them. Alright, so let's begin. If you chose cup number 1, the marshmallow, what is the message for you? This is I believe mint. I'm not sure though. Okay, so or oregano. I might have mistaken it. No, it's okay. Nonetheless, it's freshly grown. So you see how all the tea leaves are on the bottom of the cup. So first I'm gonna read the plate, and immediately this drew me in because it looked like a W. I feel like it's a major influence. Like if you go to a place with the letter W, or you meeting someone with a name with W, like Winston, could have a major influence. I also see the North Node, so that could have an influence in your astrological zodiac chart. Based on that time you meet this influencing person. Etched in the hollowness of the tea here, I do see a figure of what looks and appears to be a cat with an extra tail. So sometimes you may be directed in 2 directions, 2 paths, like the tail is usually pointing to determine where a source is coming from, like a predator or prey or a sound or something they see in the dark. So you're sometimes led astray multiple paths and you're needing to choose. And again, there's like a W inside again. Maybe it could be 2 different paths, because like a V is 2 paths. A W is 3 different paths. So 3 different paths you have to choose from. And you can't make up your mind. It's like you just got done making up your mind with one thing and now you have to choose another. It's like, where do you go from here? What do you do, right? This also does look like a big, deep bowl, so maybe you're having to carry a lot of weight. Sometimes perhaps it feels as if you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and hands. And you're needing to really just decide. Yes, I'm using a marshmallow as a pointer. Also here it looks like a bird with a beak here, and there's the tail here, and this is the body and the feathers, the feet here. It looks very graceful. You're in a very graceful state of being. Maybe it wasn't a good idea because now I want to eat the marshmallow. I wonder if it will absorb the water. Yeah, so birds can fly though. They can get up and fly away from the problem, but maybe that's not necessarily what you should do, even if you're overwhelmed by the amount of incredible decisions you have to make. Maybe the best thing is to wait it out and stay and see, get answers. Maybe you need to push yourself a bit to have more patience to wait, or have more persistency to wait things out, even if there are no clear answers or things are not working out the way that you desire them to be. But note, I said that you desire to be, but it's not always about ourselves and what we desire to be, what's true. So a bird can fly away, but sometimes you need to stay and not fly away. Sometimes you need to make up your mind and say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out. And this bird honestly looks so big that she doesn't even look like she can fly. So I think you're going to be pushed to a point where you cannot fly, meaning you cannot run from the decision. You have to make a decision, whether it's what college I go to or what job opportunity I take. You have to decide. And the longer you wait, the more options will be carved in your path ahead, and the more difficult the journey begins, or you're going to sabotage and find more paths that you're not supposed to go on. You may be wanting to create your own path, but there's too much dense shrubbery in the forest you can't necessarily get through, right? So you have no choice but to choose of these three decisions. I feel like 3 major decisions here. I'm just going to go with it and say it. And you just need to make up your mind. All right, so let's see what the cup states. Well, looks like 2 palm fans. That reminds me of like when people get so relaxed and they're eating like grapes and someone is fanning them with big palms. Like maybe you're too relaxed, too comfortable. Maybe you need to push yourself more. And oh, no wonder the lighting looks off. I'm sorry. I forgot to turn on. There we go. What? Oh, I hope I didn't ruin the video now. It's okay. You need to push yourself, right? You need to get outside your comfort zone. Maybe outside your head a little bit. Some of you are too relaxed and too comfortable, and that could be contributing to the path, like I said, that you need to choose and make up your mind. So there's 2 palms. So like, it could also be you have to make 2 to 3 options or decisions, not just one. It could either be making 1 decision out of a choice of 3, or you literally having to do these 2 or 3 things at once to go on all paths. How would you do that? Well, you'd need to trace your steps, wouldn't you? And realize, okay, I went too far on this path. Let me go back to the intersection and try again. Sometimes you need to do that, like a video game. Life is just one big video game, isn't it? It's such a joke. I mean, sometimes we just need to just go back and retrace our steps, redo the level. You don't just have one life. You're like a cat. You have 9, so you can make attempt after attempt after attempt. It cannot harm you, only if you allow it to. Sometimes we beat ourselves up so much for making the wrong decision. I think we just need to sometimes just make the darn decision. Suck it up, Sometimes for our own benefit, for our own good. There's a house here. You're building your own house, even if you feel like you, not in the literal sense, I mean building your own life. Or building where somewhere may feel like home. It could be literal, but it more feels like, it literally looks ridiculous. It looks like a panda with a straw hat building shrubs to make a home. So, you may not have many resources too, but you're doing the best you can to make where you currently are feel like home. That's all I'm seeing. So it could be you're redecorating your place. Fingers pointing in many directions. I feel like many people are going to distract you from your path. Or distract you from your purpose here. I do see a cross. You're always protected. It's safe. Okay. It's near you. The finger pointing is at a distance. The cross is near you, so you're always going to be safe and sound. Okay. There's nothing to fear. I do see the letter Y. Maybe you're asking a lot of questions like, why is this occurring to me? Why is this happening? Or again, Y and W could indicate those intersections again. Y has 3 points to it, so does W, doesn't it? So think about that. So many different decisions. Doesn't matter if you go north, south, or east. Make up your mind, but you can't go west, right? You can't create your own path. Right now, at the very least, you have to kind of choose and decide with what was given to you. To choose and decide. Whatever this feels like a very light reading, a very simple, easygoing reading. The aroma, the fragrance is light, so I feel like you're either going to feel light and easy, or you're just going to have very superficial level experiences. You're not going to have to delve that deep. And I don't see much else in your reading, so that's all I'm going to say about that one. Thank you, good one. Maybe big cup number 2, the red egg. Do I want to risk it? No. Not in the mood to risk it today. Let's see. Oh, well, that's a shocker. It actually stuck. This is fresh rosemary grown from my garden. The cup one was also fresh from my garden area. Oregano. But rosemary is very good for you. I highly recommend drinking rosemary tea. I just love the smell. I'm hooked to the smell. You could boil a pot and kettle of it and just wave it around the house and it just smells so good. Let's see what your plate says. So most of the leaves fell on the plate. I'm glad that at least they stuck to the cup, This is a very hard tea leaf. It's such an art. And this reminds me of art. Like sticking tea leaves to the cups is not easy. It's an art, but this looks like a bunch of these tea leaves stuck together in one ball and jumble. And it looks like art. Like it looks like something that, like if you put this in a museum, they would think it's art. It reminds me so much of that. So maybe it's like you're going to craft and create and decorate. It'll be artsy stuff. I'm suddenly drawn to how Christmassy the plate is. So Christmas is a very artsy time. And you could do a lot with that time and create something that you'd be surprised how it comes out. You'd be surprised. I somehow do see the letter Z in all of this. So who's the Z? Z. Who's the Z influence? First name starting with Z, last name, location. How does that affect you in art? How does that influence you? Maybe you need to go visit a healer or a good witch or something. Like I see a witch with a hand here, elongating and handing out herbs or something. Maybe you need to work with more herbs. A natural plant life and stuff of that sort. This reminds me of the hands of a clock, and it keeps waving. It's like... So this looks like you're maybe impatiently waiting for the hands of a clock to spin, meaning you want time to go faster. You're waiting on something to occur. I see an X here as well. Could be an X, literally an X, EX, X, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. And I do see a couple of 90-degree angles, maybe something that took a turn that you didn't expect, or you thought you could progress in a relationship with someone in one way and then they just took an L on you and went the other way. So literally L, like 90-degree angle. They took the L and left you. The L left you. Okay, so I see an M. You're maybe mad, mad, M, mad. And even the letter M looks like a penguin with like angry eyebrows. Maybe they really got upset. I mean, you really got upset at them. Excuse me. You wanted to construct something together. Maybe you want to demonstrate all of this frustration in the form of artwork. Demonstrate your artwork. Demonstrate your frustration through art in a creative way. Okay? You may feel a little dull. I do notice how brown these leaves are more than usual. So it's like maybe you feel like an expired crate of eggs. I know that sounds ridiculous, but hey, I chose the egg, so. And this is actually long ago expired. And like dull and worn out, and maybe you're feeling that way, and maybe you feel like you're not fresh, you know what I'm saying? Like even when it comes to relationships, you maybe feel used up or taken advantage of, and maybe you feel like you're not getting any younger and you don't have much time and you just really want this person, and that's why I see the clock like tick, 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 tick. It keeps drawing me back, like impatience, like wanting to be with someone as fast as possible soon. But that's not the answer. I think you just need to let it out in the form of art, whatever that means to you. And go see some healer, witch, something like that. Some witch lady that might give you answers you're looking for. Wow, okay. So this reminds me of like, you see this? The stand that holds the abalone shell, that holds like incense or sage or something that you could burn, so you could need a cleansing. It's telling me also there's a triangle next to it, so see that triangle? Communication is key at this point, not to escape your issue. Some of you are water or air signs. You see the water liquid flowing here, so a lot of you want to, water tends to escape, water and air tends to go away when they're faced with a problem or an issue. You need to sit in it a little bit and kind of put up with it, so to speak. All right, and handle the issue here. Someone with legs tightly closed off. This could mean you cut off intimacy from others for a while because you get so heartbroken and you feel like you're taken advantage of, and all of a sudden I'm drawn to the cards, so I'm going to go ahead and do some tarot card and see what else could this tell me. What else is going on with Pick a Cup? Number 2. Allow me to see what you want me to see, dear God. I'm just going to pick a cup. 2. What is going on with pick a cup 2? What could this mean? Okay. I feel like you weren't ready to hear this, or you weren't ready for it to get that deep. Somehow I get that impression through this card. Because you really maybe have been closed off from the actual root of the issue, because you wanted to avoid the pain of it for so long that it's even unbearable now to speak of. It's almost like you even want to like click away from this video because the subject is getting there, right? But hear me out. What does the number 13 have to do with you? Is it a birthday of that person? 13 is strange. You know why? There's 12 months in a year. Where's the 13th month? Oh, that's right. There is none. Because it's bad luck. So, you know how ridiculous that sounds? Like, sometimes we hear something or are reminded of someone or something that plays as a memory in our head over and over again, time and time again. And we tend to avoid what is causing us this discomfort in our minds. So I think not to avoid it, because it's like trying to avoid the 13th month of the year. It doesn't exist. You only make it exist. You could actually hypnotize someone into believing there's a 13th month. Like an imaginary planet that's somehow floating here. So, so not to drive yourself crazy with that. And also, do notice how many herbs there are and leaves here. You see that? You're surrounded by people, but maybe you're feeling lonely because you're not with the one, the number 13. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they're just, maybe, have you ever thought that they don't exist? Who cares if we never meet our one and only? Treat yourself as the one. You are already the one. So again, that pain projected into art. Hermit, you may need to be alone for some time. It's a very cooling, calm colors I see as well. The blue drew me in. And so I think you need to really just take some time to be cool, level-headed, chill for a moment, and be on your own for a while, and create out of that beautiful moment of nothingness. So with that said, in those cards, I do portray the legs tightly close together as you just closing yourself off for a while. It also looks like crossing fingers, so you're crossing your fingers for someone, and even wishing. You notice that there's a wishbone next to it. See that wishbone? That wishbone. That's the wishbone. And there's the crossed legs. So you're crossing your fingers for a wish to come true, for this person to manifest itself in your life. And you're really trying, you're really doing the effort and the work and the time. Maybe you even visit a witch to make it happen, like a love potion or whatever. I don't know. The number 7. What does 7 and 13 have to do with you? There's a number 7 right there. Number 7. Oops, I dropped it. My bad. Well, you can still see it. But it's not on even ground. Look. They're not even touching. You two won't even meet. Maybe you're in a long distance partnership relationship, but it's not gonna cross paths. You're not gonna chain link together. You're not gonna meet. It's like this egg that's so fragile. I drop it 2 centimeters from its height and it'll crack any second. So you need to develop your life on stable ground rather than not walking on eggshells to try to appeal to a person and please them, because you're only going to be left even more broken and more heartbroken. And when you get to a point where you're no return, you're so broken inside you can't even create art. So I guess what I'm trying to say is focus on yourself here at hand. All right, there's multiple wishbones. Maybe you're wishing for more. There's like a matchstick trying to light this, like you're trying to light your dream on fire just to like keep it going. You're so maybe in desperate need to make things happen, but when we push things, they don't happen. I do see the 2 7s here. I see a campfire here, so you can't even ignite a campfire without the right sticks, the right force, the right heat and temperature, and the right pressure. You know what I'm saying here? So I think things have to settle in your life first and be at the right place and time and position before you can actually make things happen. First, you need a cleansing and to make art. And then I think you're going to be in the beginning stages. Well, how do you do cleansing? Oh, you can look up many ways. I've done video after video. I won't go into it. Okay, if you chose cup 3, the flower petal thingy, blue cup. Let's see what is going on. Ice cream. Maybe you're consuming a lot of ice cream. Whoa, okay, so I'm glad that all 3 of these cups somehow stuck the herbs. I smell a lot of food, so oops, I try not to move the plate. My bad. I tend to want to manipulate it to see it a certain way, but I can't do that. I see like sticks of butter. I see ice cream. Ooh, you have been eating. Hey, nothing wrong with that, right? I feel like it's like a comfort and also like in the form of maybe seeking something that's not there now. And could also be telling me that there's maybe a deficiency of something. Could be like sugars or iron in your blood, that's why you are maybe consuming more than you even deem necessary or require, because there's something lacking and some deficiency. Okay. Or the universe is just trying to say it's not necessary to over consume those things. Too much sweets and butter can clog, and so it's like cause problems down the line. So I do see the cone here and the cone here and the butter stick here. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I do see the angel here. Try calling upon your guides when you're feeling a bit down. Someone is curious about you. Maybe they're on the surface level layer of your life, but they want to get to know you deeper. But they have to get through all this stuff first. And all this stuff you put into your orbit so people can never reach here. Where's your home? But your home is so filled with your surroundings, and I feel like you've done that to distract yourself from a lot of things that you put away or didn't want to focus on for so long. I see heart and liver here. Maybe some of you actually are having some health issues, so be wary of that. Please be mindful. I also see like a bread toast here, so again, avoid too much carbs as well. There's like a written note, could be like a doctor's note. Maybe a prescription for something you may need down the line, especially if this continues. Again, no fault of your own with the overconsumption. A lot of times we overconsume certain diets and foods because there's lack. Like some people eat like ice and chalk. Like that's because there's a lack of something. And it's again, no fault of your own. I do see a cup of coffee, so maybe avoid too much caffeine as well. Recipe books and tools, maybe learning how to cook your own healthier, nutritious meals with certain amount of, you may need to study up on what has this magnesium, what has this, has proteins, and so you get the proper intake, and that could be like the recipe or the recommendation I'm seeing here, the prescription from the doctor to guide and advise you to, or maybe print out these things to focus on, okay? It's for your betterment, for your health overall. That's all I'm really seeing here, for your overall well-being, okay? Let's see what else is going on in the cup. Someone winking at you, fancying you. But things will go slow with this person. Maybe they won't even move. Maybe it's just a fling. Oop, one of the herbs just fell like, yeah, it like trying to tell me like it'll progress and then it'll stop. Maybe they just weren't that into you, or you weren't that into them. It's maybe nothing or innocent, but I don't see it for no reason at all. There's some reason why it's in the center of the cup as well. And maybe that's why you're kind of letting it out at home in this form of intake. It's just maybe something that is psychological as well. Wow. I do see perspiration here. It reminds me like sweating is good for you, like healthy exercise as well. Walks outside. I see a flower here. Getting your stretches in. Focusing on your health and well-being is really a dominant centered focus of cup 3. Okay, it's funny because this cup is also outside. So, yes, getting that fresh air, sunlight. Oh, it's funny, I've also chose a flower here, so I didn't even think of it. There's always a reason. Oh, that makes sense. Now, there's certain herbs or foods like berries outside that you can also eat that are healthy for you. Like if it's with your blood, something, red berries are good for your blood and circulation, as well as certain fruits from certain trees. That makes sense. So whatever is outside in nature to consume, much healthier and better if you're having like a sugar craving or sweet desire. Rather eat like pomegranates and stuff like that, right? To fulfill that desire, because once you eat those things, you don't want to eat something else, you know. Once your stomach is full, you don't really want to eat something else. Although it's a shame that ice cream and fruit does mix well, but that's another story. Okay. Hey, I better not give you any ideas. Knock it out. And I don't say this to be shady in any way. No, I'm just saying like, it's good for your health here. It did concern me to see a little bit of this, and there's some hesitation here. So you're going to be hesitant for a while. You're going to feel like giving up and like literally see a person spilling over their recipe. Like you may make a healthy fruit juice or salad and you're just going to dump it in the trash and you give up and go back to your old ways because you just don't feel like, well, it all comes down to our belief system. Like if we feel like we don't deserve to treat ourselves good, or we don't feel like we can do it for long because we just don't believe in ourselves. So that's where I say that talking to a doctor or health professional, or just going to a special person who works with herbs, or a nutritionist would be actually probably better for you, like dietary supplement specialist as well. I don't know why I'm crumbling this flowers. Maybe I'm picking up on the frustration you may be feeling for that, but yes, it is a touchy subject in general. So I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe it's something you needed to hear in general. Thank you so much, Cup 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you in the next one.